All right, we are officially live, and today it is September 1st. Man, can you believe it? September 1st, 2021. And, the cool thing about doing these coffee talks, for me anyway, is that I can look back and see all of the different things that we've discussed and all of the different things that we've done over the years now. Because I believe it's been since I started doing the coffee talks, it's been probably close to, we got to be approaching a couple years here, at least a year and a half. So yeah, that's it's pretty cool to be able to look back. Even if no one shows up, it's good because I get to document this like a journal. And today we are going to be talking about something that I am I'm documenting. Also, that we're going to be documenting publicly. And I say publicly, we won't reveal the niche, but we will document exactly what we're doing. And today, what I'm going to be sharing with you is, and I told you guys how I'm going all in on this niche properties thing. Last week, I think it was last week, might have been the week before now. No, I think it was last Friday. I ended up committing to basically investing in an expired domain, and also committing to producing about 110,000 words of content. Why am I doing this? Well, I'm glad that you asked, because that's what I'm going to share with you here today. We are going to turn this into a podcast episode, so I'm going to officially kick this off here in a second. But just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate you guys showing up, those of you that are here live or even on the replay, because you allow me to be able to come on here, help you, but also it allows me to continue to share and to publish the things that I'm up to, which also holds me accountable. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So thank you. All right, so we're going to kick this thing off. Before I do, though, you guys know I talk a lot about now lately this whole niche properties thing. If you have not yet taken the class and you want to, you can now. It's publicly available. And you can find that by heading over to, there it is, buildnicheproperties.com. You go there, you can take the class, and the class will walk you through every single thing that we do, all the way from how to find a good niche, validate the niche, make sure that it's getting traffic, make sure that it can make money. And then from there, how to build everything, all the way from your website, all the way to publishing content, to outsourcing your content. And then from there, the game plan moving forward is to get it to monetize. And that's what we do. We talk about all of that stuff. And it also leads itself very well and very nicely into today's topic, because I'll kind of be going through that plan, at least the overview of that. So once again, if you're interested and you have not yet jumped in, if you want to start building your own digital real estate, I would definitely highly recommend you head on over to buildnicheproperties.com, and you can get all the details there, and you can get signed up, take the class. It's pretty good. It's actually, it's really good. We actually added another Q&A session yesterday in the learning portal, and we're going to be doing a niche drill down soon. We'll be doing that one live as well as a bonus, adding that in there. And I'm probably going to do a whole section on expired domains. That'll be happening. Not yet, but it will be happening as I kind of unpack this new case study that we're about to embark on. So with that all being said, let's get rocking and rolling. And just want to say hello to a few of you that are on. Scooby Life, what's up? Ruth, what's up? Salama, what's up? Alejandro, what is up? Thank you for the apple. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to get rocking and rolling. Let's do this. Here we go. I'm going to get my notes up. Here we go. And if you guys have any questions on this, let me know. All right, here we go. All right, guys, welcome back. Today, I'm excited. I'm fired up because I've got something new that I am going to be testing. A little risky, a little scary, but that's good. That's where growth usually happens. But what I'm talking about here is my new $9,000 niche property case study. Yeah. And I haven't yet really named what that will be, because we're going to document the entire thing. I'll explain exactly why this is different, but and why it's $9,000. Basically, I spent $9,000, and I don't really have anything yet to show for it, but I will. And I'll explain what that is. But you guys have been hearing me talk a lot about this whole niche properties thing, about building your own digital real estate. I mean, right now, it's kind of like the real estate market in general. Like, it's really high. Like, a lot of people are wanting to get into the Airbnb or the rental space, but it's really, really expensive. But the cool thing is about digital real estate is we can get in, not going to cost us more necessarily, but the valuations of those are going up. So like right now, the average is like 3 to 4x, but there's been talk that those are even going up. Again, it just depends on the marketplace, but buying and selling a website is becoming just so normal now. When, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, it was just kind of, really? You can do that? Like, now it's becoming a thing, which is really good for all of us. But with that being said, today, what I'm going to be sharing with you is, why I decided to invest $9,000, and basically what that's going to give me, and what the roadmap is to start earning money from that $9,000 investment. So let me kind of give you the overall concept here. All right. So when we start a brand new niche property, we need to buy a domain name. Okay. And that domain name could be, ilovebassfishing.com. Okay. And we usually go to a provider like GoDaddy or Namecheap, I think it is, or Bluehost or HostGator. They sell theirs too. Like, everybody has their place. I go to GoDaddy usually. And when you buy a domain there, it's brand new. It's never been registered. Okay. Now, the issue with that, and not really an issue, it's just the thing that you need to understand, is it's brand new to everybody. Okay. Including Google. Okay. So when you have this website, it doesn't have any authority. It doesn't have any trust within Google. Now, we want to get our content ranking on Google. That's the whole idea here. So it's a very, very basic business model. Okay. We find a niche that's getting traffic, that is being monetized. We then go out, get traffic, and then we monetize. It's literally that simple. That's what we're doing, right? So we have to find that domain name. And then once we like it, we buy it, and now we have to start building it out. Now, some people have called it the Google Sandbox, where 6 to 8, sometimes 12 months, you're kind of in this sandbox of Google, where they're kind of keeping an eye on you. They're like, listen, you're not ready yet to go on out there outside of this sandbox here, okay, and start playing over there with the big boys. We're going to keep you right here. Make sure that you're doing things right, making sure that nothing fishy going on here. And so it's a way for them to keep an eye on you, okay? So that way there, you can start to build up that trust and build up that authority, okay? Now, there's a thing called a domain authority score that is out there, and it's kind of given by all these different metrics and stuff. The main thing you want to understand is when you see that, it's generally when you get a brand new website, a fresh domain, it's 0, okay? It's 0. That doesn't mean that you can't build off of that. You can, and we've done it. We've went from a 0 domain authority, and then in about a year and a half, got it to about a 12. And then now I think it's probably up to about an 18. About an 18. So it's not extremely high, but the minute that you can get that thing to start getting an authority, your content will start to rank more. You'll be able to go after, better keywords or more competitive keywords and those types of things. Okay. But there is this waiting period in a sense. Okay. And that's where I talk a lot about this. Just got to be patient. Okay. And so some people, what they're doing is they're buying a domain. They're basically putting up a handful of articles. And we recently did this, and I'll share that with you here in a second. And then they just sit on it and then move on to something else, or maybe they're building out their 2 or 3 other ones that they're doing. And then they're letting that kind of just sit there and get some age. They're letting it kind of marinate a little bit, okay? And then they can come back to it, okay, and start publishing content because now it's kind of seasoned a little bit. All right. And so what we can do, okay, in this concept isn't new, by the way. People have been doing this for years, is where we can go find an expired domain, okay, an expired web address, and we can then start building our site on this as long as, this is a big one, it's relevant to what you're building it on, okay? And there's some wrong ways of doing this, some right ways of doing this. The right way is to build it on that domain itself. Some people will take an old domain, they will then forward that domain over to the new website, and then that will give it some link juice. And from what I've been told, that doesn't work as well as building it on the actual entity itself, okay? And so what I am about to test is we just purchased a domain that is 12 years old. It wasn't necessarily a content site, but it was a site that is in this niche, okay? And so the topics that we're going to be talking about and that we're going to be answering questions and doing reviews and things like that are going to be in this market. So that is really, really important because relevancy is super important, okay? When you're building this out, and within Google, they look at relevancy. Relevancy now is more important than ever. So if you're gonna create a, I love life blog and then just talk about everything, it's not going to be as relevant. So if someone else is publishing in bass fishing, but yet you happen to publish in bass fishing, the one that's more relevant will most likely get better rankings. Okay. So here's what I did, and I'll just give you this and then I'll kind of walk you through what's about to happen. So right now, and I'm not yet ready to reveal who the company is, okay? But I went through a company that what they do is they offer this as a service. So what they do is they vet these domain names, okay? Because there's a lot of bad domains out there, expired domains, okay? They've had negative attacks on the domains. They've had negative backlinks. They've done black hat stuff. They've been de-indexed. Like there's all of these bad things, horror stories. You don't want to go down that road. So you do want a reputable company. Company I'm working with, not ready yet to announce them, but very, very reputable. They've done their homework. And now what they're doing is they're offering these domains, and they're also offering to build the site out and add 100,000 words of content. Okay. And so that's part of a bigger package. The package that I purchased was $9,000. So basically I'm getting my domain and then I'm getting the content. Now the domain itself, they will range, I think they have some that might be $500 all the way up to $1,500, maybe even a little bit more. It depends on the authority and how old the site is. The one that we had purchased is 12 years old. I believe the domain authority is a 23 to a 26. All right. And so we're starting not in the sandbox. We're also starting with a site that has domain authority. So one way that we're going to start planning out our content, and this is something, again, I will be doing more as we work through this case study. Okay. This will be a case study that we will be publishing on. Chris Schaefer and I will be publishing on this. I'll be doing podcast episodes on it. I'll actually inside of Brand Creators Academy, I'll be going deeper. And then also we'll be doing stuff on the blog. Okay. So just to kind of give you a heads up on how that's all going to work. So it looks like this: purchased a domain. It's expired, 12 years old. It's already got 26 domain authority score. Okay. So what that basically means, by the way, is there's a lot of really, really strong links pointing to that as well, right? So they give you the whole backlinking profile. So there's links coming from New York Times or Forbes or maybe just a news channel or something that they had a write-up in that they got featured, and then that pointed a link over to that website. So now because of that, and we're not doing anything with the website, we're not going to destroy it, right? We're going to basically just build upon it, and it's still relevant. So we'll continue to get that authority and that link juice, as they call it. Okay. And so the idea now is we can go after, okay, in our research, in our keyword research, we can start looking at sites that are in this niche that have a domain authority of 25 or less. We can look and see what they have been ranking for, and now we can go after that type of content. So if we find a site that's got a 15 domain authority and they're ranking, which we found two actually that are getting over 100,000 page views, I can look and see at their content that they're publishing, and I can probably do a better job and outrank them now because I've got a better domain authority than they do. I've got better links, and I'll just write better content. So I've already got a head start. They almost gave me the map. Okay. So I'm actually gonna have my first meeting tomorrow with this company, and we're gonna do our basically our focus meeting of where the first batch of content is going to be directed. Okay. And I've never been through this process with someone else, so I'm curious to see what their process is. I will be reporting back on that. And once I'm underway here, I will be, like I said, doing this more of a public case study, but we will not reveal the niche, at least in the first 12 to 18 months. Okay. So that's what we're doing. So yes, it's an investment. Okay. And I'm not saying that you need to do something like this. Maybe in the future, possibly purchase an expired domain. Yeah, maybe. Does that mean that I'm only going to go after expired domains now? No, because I've done it a number of times. And actually, in the beginning, I shared with you guys that how you can kind of take a domain, purchase it, add 10, 12 pieces of content, and then just let it go for a year if you want to, just so that way there it kind of gets seasoned. That's what we did on one of our sites. We kind of did it by accident, actually. So inside of Brand Creators Academy, we needed to set up a video showing people how to set up, buy their hosting, set up their domain name, and then publish some content. So we picked a niche that we were thinking about going into, but we weren't ready yet to start building it out. But we said, you know what, we'll just build it. We'll see what happens. And then we'll just use it as a demo. And then, we might come back to it. So we did that. And then it's been about 13 or 14 months. We published 13 pieces of content on that site. And now it's already getting, I think the last I looked, 13 to 1,500 page views per month. And that's just from letting it sit there. So we know that stuff is ranking. We know that it's out of the sandbox. So guess what? Now we're starting to build the site out again actively. Okay. So right now we've got soon to be 5 of these niche properties active in an active build. Okay. And all at different stages. Okay. And the idea is to build these out so we can get them to $1,000 per month. Okay. Passively. And the main thing, I know a lot of you are saying like, well, Scott, what's the monetization strategy? The very first thing we're looking is display ads. Like display ads to me is the easiest way to monetize that blog. Okay. Now with Ezoic, they have no limitations now. So you can throw those ads on there immediately if you want to. I would wait until I got to 5 to 10,000 page views, to be honest with you, because I want to get that momentum. I want to get out of the sandbox. But once we can turn on the display ads, then we can start that monetization. And then we'll also be, adding some Amazon affiliate products. But here's the other thing that I'm starting to do differently. Okay. And I'm going to start doing this. Actually, I'm going to be testing this on 2 of the sites right out of the gate. I'm going to try to find other networks out there other than Amazon. To be quite honest with you, I've been with Amazon for a while now. I did private label with them. Okay. And sold a business that I was doing with private label products and stuff. You guys all know that are longtime listeners. They literally have cut their commission numerous times. So imagine that you have a site that's generating $100,000 a year in product sales for Amazon, and you're making, let's just call it 10 grand on that because they were paying 10% commissions, which I don't think they were. They were paying like 8% at the max, right? And so then what they did is they cut them almost in half in some categories. So you went from making 10 grand to 5 grand overnight. So I don't like that. So it's easy to put on your site. So that's why a lot of people do it, but the commissions are terrible. So my one strategy that I'm going to be doing here on one of our sites immediately is looking for additional affiliate product offers privately or within other marketplaces, because that can take your income from where you're making 4% commission to even a 15 or a 20% commission. You could double or triple your revenue just by finding some different affiliate products on different networks. Okay. But the ad revenue, okay, the display ads, that to me is just gravy, right? You turn that thing on and you kind of walk away. Okay. Actually, this morning, one of our Brand Creators Academy members posted her update for August, and she had her second full month. And since turning her ads on, the first month, I think it was $1,400 in just ad revenue. And then last month, or August, was $1,600 and some change. Okay. Pretty darn good. Okay. From just turning on those ads. And that's pretty much, like I said, passive. She's not shipping products. She's not dealing with customer service. It's just literally flipping a switch, turning the ads on, and you're good. Okay. So that's my primary focus here, because like I said, I'm treating this like a digital piece of real estate, and I want to get some tenants in there that I don't have to deal with. And that is ad networks, display ads. Okay. So that's the first thing that I'm shooting for. That's my target. Of course, we can do other things. We can do Etsy stuff, depending on how big we want to build out the brand. If we want to build out the brand with physical products, we can do all that. But the main goal for this site that I just basically committed to building and spent $9,000, my target is display ads. And then from there, we'll also add some products. And in this niche, by the way, there's some pretty expensive products, which I like that because that means bigger commissions. All right. So the game plan is this. We purchased the domain. We committed to publishing 100,000 words of content, which equals about 75-ish articles. And we are going to be doing all of that. That's all going to be done within 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. Now, some people would say, well, Scott, doesn't Google want you to drip out the content? No, I don't believe that. Here's the other thing. The longer I wait to post that content on the site, the longer it takes for it to get indexed, the longer it takes to start getting traffic. So if I drop, 75 articles over the course of 3 weeks, guess what? In 6 months from now, I can look at all those 75 articles and go, how are they doing? Right? Because they were all put there at the same exact time or around the same time, right? Because a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll go, Scott, I've been doing this for 6 months. The traffic, I'm just not seeing the traffic. And I'm like, how many articles you got? The guy, I got 50. Like, okay, great. Okay. How many of those were published month one? Like 4. Those 4 are the only ones that you really can say, I'm going to look at these because I'm outside of the 6-month window. 6 to 8 months. You got to give it 6 to 8 months in the beginning. Okay. And then from there, we can start to tweak and stuff, but that's where the momentum can really start to happen. The biggest mistake that people make is they don't keep doing it. They just stop, or they go, oh, wait a minute. I can do that over there. I can start an e-commerce store. Oh, look over there. I can do, Etsy. Oh, look over there. I can do, the next thing. I can do merch over at Teespring. Oh, look at, you get the point, right? If you stick to the plan, publish. It's all about traffic. If you get traffic, monetization is there. And like I said, one of our members was getting traffic, applied for Mediavine, flipped the switch, $1,400. Okay, then $1,600. And that's just from the display ads. I think her commissions were from Amazon were over $400 this past month. So she did over $2,000. Okay, which is great. And oh, by the way, that $2,000 doesn't sound like a ton, right? She could literally put that up on the marketplace right now for sale and get an offer, a cash offer, probably between $75,000 and $100,000. Just like that. Like literally people are wanting those sites. Okay. And especially if they are clean sites, meaning they don't have any black hat stuff. They don't have any, any blog networks that are out there trying to manufacture links and all of that stuff. If it's a clean site, it's getting good traffic, it's got growth potential, it'll sell in a heartbeat. All right. So that is my little reveal there. That's what we are doing. So I want you to stay tuned because again, I'm going to give you guys the play-by-play. I'm going to tell you what happens, how it goes down, what works, what doesn't work, and what we're doing to really build this out in this way. But like I said, if you're just starting, doesn't mean you have to do an expired domain. This is the first one I've done out of about probably 10 websites. Okay. First one I've ever done. We're going to see what happens. Okay. But I'm thinking it's going to probably do pretty well. But that's just me saying fingers are crossed, and I'll report to you the good, the bad, the ugly. All right. So if you are listening to this and you would like to get started building your own piece of digital real estate, your own niche property, I would definitely recommend you head on over to buildnicheproperties.com. Again, that's buildnicheproperties.com. Over there, you'll see exactly how we are finding niches, validating them, and then from there, building them out and even outsourcing all of the content. So all we really need to do is find those keywords for those articles and then basically get them scheduled, publish, and then repeat, rinse and repeat. All right. So if you're interested, head on over to buildnicheproperties.com. You can take the class over there. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you soon. Cut. All right, guys. I'm sure you're going to have some questions. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. What's up, David? Okay. How did you find the domain? It's a great question. Here's the deal. Like I said, I'm not going to yet reveal the company, but this company actually, what they do is they'll find these expired domains. They will then run it through an extensive check to make sure that everything is clean. And then what they'll do is they'll put it up for sale. And they put it up for sale as you can buy it by itself, or you can buy the package, like I did. I wanted to test the whole thing just to see if I could do this thing totally hands off, have a little bit of input, but totally hands off. And then once that thing's up and running, it's built. Now I can just kind of use all of my systems that I'm using for my other ones and keep rinsing and repeating. So inside of Brand Creators Academy, I will be revealing the company sooner than I do to the public. So stay tuned. I know that you're inside BCA. Are expired domains more expensive than new? Yes, they are. Like I said, a new domain you can pick up for probably $10, $15, depending on where you buy it. Okay, and if you get a discount on GoDaddy, probably $1.99. Okay, but an expired domain, there's sites out there that are selling them that I wouldn't necessarily trust. That you can get them for $100. But then there's the ones that you want to look at as being serious. I would say between $250 and $1,500 is about the average going price. How quickly can you rank with domain authority site? Again, don't know. Haven't done it yet, but I'm assuming that I'm going to be able to do it quicker than I could before. I will say this. There is a domain that I bought brand new 5 years ago, a little more than 5 years ago now. Yeah, maybe even 6 or 7 years. I'll have to go back and look and see when I bought that. I bought a domain name for one of my first products that I ever sold on Amazon. And then I ended up never really building it out all that much. I put some content on it, but not much. It was more just like a site for the product or for those types of products. I forgot about it in a sense. I came back to it and noticed that it had a domain authority of like a 16. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to build this thing out. So that's another one of our little case studies that we're working on, and also another one of our niche properties. And that one there, we started publishing content already about a month ago. And already there's a couple of those articles that are on page 2. Okay. So that was quicker. So we'll see. Again, test results are still out there. We gotta kind of see, but I would assume it's going to be quicker. But we will tell. And I'll say this, after about the next 6 months, I'm going to know that answer because I'm doing it. So I can't really say for sure. When are you planning to do live niche drill down in niche properties? I'm probably going to be doing that next week. Okay. That'll be probably next week, Salma. And we will be emailing everyone that has taken the class so they can attend the live if they want to. Let's see. Both companies have package deal of expired domains with X amount of words to be published, or just the one company. It's just this one company that I know of. There's probably other ones out there, but the only one that I know of right now that's doing it this way is this company. Now, this company also does other things. They do content creation. It is more expensive. They do keyword research for you. They do the publishing for you. And they also work with agencies that also offer those types of services. Really good couple of guys that I met now through this process. Probably going to have them on the podcast, and probably going to have them even come in and teach a little bit on some of this stuff that they're learning, because they're working with a lot of different businesses that are doing this. I mean, there's people that have investment funds. I would never get into this, where they're collecting investment capital and then they're buying a bunch of these different sites to build up, and then everyone shares in on the profits, or if you exit the sale. It's crazy because it's so similar to the digital, or to the real estate market. Do you think it's better to build your own niche first before buying one? Yeah, I do, because I mean, an expired domain wouldn't be a bad investment, I think. But I would just get started. Like I said, if you got started right now and you said, you know what, I'm gonna buy the domain name, I'm gonna pick the niche, buy the domain name, get my hosting, put up maybe even 10 articles, and then just let it sit if you want to, come back to it in a year, that thing will be aged, enough to where it's kind of out of the sandbox. But the other thing you could do is, even if you didn't want to pour all your attention into that because you had other things that you were working on, maybe you just publish a couple articles there a week, or have to publish, because the one thing I will say on anything that we've started with a brand new domain, it is going to be that 6 to 8 month window. It just is. There's nothing you're going to do to speed that up unless you do some black hat stuff, which we're not going to do. Let's see. Does GoDaddy have expired sites as well? I think they do. The issue with that, though, Alejandro, is you do need to know what you're looking for. I mean, there's these like factors that go into it. You can look through different tools out there to see, like, what is the trust flow? What is the what is the domain authority? What is the backlinking profile? And it gives all these scores and stuff. Like, you really do want someone that understands that to hand it off to you, in my opinion. GoDaddy's just gonna be like, yeah, that domain got expired. You want to buy it? Like, that's it. Do you ever advise to take a break from producing content after how many articles? I don't really think you should take a break. I think, if anything, you would just dial it back. I would always want to at least put up one piece of content per week. That would be my minimum. One piece, just to kind of keep that thing rolling. But here's the deal. Once you get a site up and running and it does start producing, even if it's only a couple $100 a month, now that thing is paying for itself in a sense, and you can take that 200 and roll it right back into content if you want to. So, and the more that you can put on that site, the more content that is, if you're doing your keyword research properly, the bigger it's going to grow. So, I mean, I look at ours right now, like my main goal right now, even though we're getting between 50 and 70,000 page views on those two sites that I talk about a lot, I'm looking to double those, right? And now that those sites are aging well, I'm just producing more content for those, right? So that's the idea behind it. What's up, Helene? Hey, Scott, about what domain authority do you consider to be out of the sandbox? Well, if the site is over 6 months old, it's probably out of the sandbox. And that's as long as it's had some activity too, right? Like, you're not just going to buy the domain, let it sit. That won't give it anything, because what gets it out of the sandbox is it's been posted on, right? It's probably received some backlinks randomly. Okay. So it's got that activity. Okay. So I would say, if you just buy a domain, sit on it, no, it's probably not going to just automatically, get out of the sandbox. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert at that. But common sense tells me if it doesn't have anything on it, why would it be out of the sandbox? Like, it's a purchased domain that didn't do anything. It was parked. So I would say, as long as it's got some content on it, then it will most likely get taken out of the sandbox. Or other stats that you use to identify as it out of the sandbox. I think it just comes down to you're starting to see that your rankings are increasing, right? And you're getting indexed. So if you post something and then, I don't know, in a week you go back and you search for that and you find that it's in the rankings somewhere, even in the top 100, you know that it's being indexed. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's giving, that Google is giving it all of the authority, but it is a good sign to know that you are being indexed on a regular basis. Let's see. Are you adding any content in the niche property about troubleshooting issues with display ads when they stop working? Salma, yes, we will most likely go into that. But again, you're asking about a question that is way, way down the line, right? Let's get the traffic. Let's get the ads running. Then let's see if we have any issues. We don't need to worry about those right now, right? If I put a roof on the house, I'm not going to worry about how am I going to fix the shingles if I don't have a leak, if it's not going to leak for 20 years, right? We don't want to go down that road yet. You don't need to. Once you get the traffic, then it's fun because then it's like, well, let me try Ezoic. Let me see what they can give us. Oh, they're only going to give us a 17 RPM. Let's try Mediavine. Oh, they're going to give us 24. That's cool. Oh, wait a minute. We're hitting 100,000. Let's go to AdThrive and see what they can do. Right. So before we have to start doing any troubleshooting, we got to get the traffic. So block that out for now, pause, and let's get some traffic. That would be my recommendation. Are you adding expired domain purchasing and purchasing niche site info? Yes, on inside of the niche properties class, we are definitely going to have a section on expired domains, 100%. Is there a way to check domain authority besides Uber Suggest? Well, Uber Suggest is probably going to be one of your best because if you did a search like Uber Suggest and domain authority, it'll show you that it pulls its domain authority from different sources. And those different sources a lot of times are things like Ahrefs or SEMrush or any of the other ones. And then what they're doing is they're just giving you an algorithm within theirs that gives you the domain authority. And I've checked and I've had Chris check. If you look at Ahrefs and then you look at Uber Suggest, they're pretty similar. They're like really close. So I would just use Uber Suggest. Let's see. Alejandro, sounds like affiliate marketing will be more profitable with bigger ticketed priced items or pod items such as shirts, cups, backpacks. Would you say that would be easier to avoid a headache of private label, although private label is more profitable? Well, okay. So here's yes. So I wouldn't look at private labeling myself right now because I'm going down this road. Okay. I'm not going down. I want to launch physical products. Now you say that it's more profitable with a private label product. Is it though? Is it though? Because if we think about this, are you going to have one product and only one product and just sell it, pull your profit, replenish, pull your profit? What you're probably going to do is you're probably going to buy more inventory. You're planning for fourth quarter. So now you're like, how much do I need for fourth quarter? I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. And then you throw all your chips in on fourth quarter. And then you find out that there's 10 other competitors. They cut your sales from last year. And now you're sitting on $50,000. There goes your profit. So we really need to understand what profit is on that business. And I know we don't see that on the screenshots. We don't see any of that. I can tell you this. If I'm building a content site and I'm generating content and I'm earning on the ad side or the affiliate side, I can tell you this, it's a lot simpler to figure out that profit because I don't have inventory to deal with. And the only thing I got to worry about is how much am I paying for my content if I'm paying at all. That's it. Okay. Yeah. My hosting, what's that? $100 a year, right? Domain name, $10 a year to renew it. What else? A couple plugins. There's not much. So my thing is when you will make money on the private label side is when you sell that business. And anyone will tell you that has ever sold a business. You'll make money. You'll make your money. You'll make your profit when you sell the business. Because let's face it, let's say you got one product and you're like, this is going great. You want to do another product. Where's that money coming from? From the profit from this one. right? Then you get that one up and running after you do the launch and you spend a whole bunch of money to get that thing launched, get it in the Amazon algorithm. Then what happens? Okay, we get it going. We get profit from that one. Guess what we're going to do? Launch another product. How are we going to pay for it? Profit from that one. And then we got to replenish all these products. Been there. It's doable and it's a great model, but it takes a lot more capital. And you are taking a lot more risk with all of that inventory. So me personally, I like this model better. I like digital products better. But I'm a fan. I've done it. It works, but the headaches are way less. So I hope I didn't go on too much of a rant there. Let's see. What are the biggest mistakes you have seen people make when building a niche site and articles not ranking after 6 months? The biggest thing is, well, two things. One, they're not doing keyword research properly, and they're not writing content that answers the question or fills the search. All right. It's got to be with search intent. Okay. Can you catch bass in a pond? It's a question, right? Can you use a Nikon D90 for vlogging? Just made that up. Okay. What type of camera is best for vlogging on YouTube? Okay. That's very specific. Those are questions that need to be answered, or how-tos. Okay. Or even the question about a product, best fishing lures to catch bass, best bass fishing lures for at night. What is best color to catch bass at night? That's the biggest problem I see, is people are not, they're guessing. Okay. And I do this in the niche properties class. I literally will go in there, show you how to put in a seed keyword, and then how to filter it by competition, especially when you're brand new, how to find a whole bunch of keywords that you could just start writing immediately. And those are the ones that will be the easiest to rank for. And after 6 months, you're going to be ranking for some of those terms. Not all of them, but some of them. Okay. And that's the idea, is you got to keep producing that content. You're going to get some that are going to hit and some that aren't, and some that might take a little bit longer than others. I've got one right now that's really starting to take off the past 2 months, but for the first 8 months, it did nothing. Actually, the first year, it did nothing. It was getting 10 a day, 20 a day. Now it's getting over 200 a day. Okay. But it was something that was created, a long time ago. Okay. So we can't always just look at the 6 month mark. I'd say that's the only time I would start looking to tweak or start looking at numbers, is after the 6 month mark. From your estimation, how likely is it to see massive websites in the future? Since you mentioned multiple investors are getting into building sites similar to buying doors in apartment complex ventures. Yeah, well, it's not so much bigger sites. You want to build a bigger site, but it's more of they're buying up a portfolio of sites. So I might take let's say all I do is these 5 sites that I'm doing right now, right? Which what I'll probably end up doing is I'll probably end up selling 1 or 2 of them off, cashing in, and then starting 2 more, right? That's probably what I would do, depending on how many I feel I can manage. Okay. But I could actually go out to an investor and go, I've got these 5 sites. Collectively, they're generating this. Here's what I want for the portfolio. And then they just buy out my portfolio. Like, that's happening all the time too. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's not about making the site big, although that would be nice. It's more about an investor looking at the one entity and then maybe collectively buying all of them. How can you include your YouTube channel to increase your traffic on your site that will follow your business model? Basically, very simple. If you have a blog post that you wrote, create a video on it. Same type of keyword idea, post it on YouTube. And then when you're on YouTube, you take that and you embed it on your blog. You're going to want to embed blog or videos on your blog anyway. I believe that helps because it keeps people on your site longer and it just gives them more information that they're going to find useful. But if you're the one going to produce the videos, maybe you just create the blog post, shoot a video on what that blog post is about, and you kind of show it in more of a visual way, and then you post it on YouTube. And then you get traffic from there going back over to your website because you're embedding it over there, and you can put a link in the description to drive people over. I would just make sure that you're not overcomplicating the process to add more work when it doesn't need to be there, unless that's part of what you want to do. There's no right or wrong on that. It is nice if you build up some nice YouTube views and some traffic there, because that would add another layer of assets that you could sell the business with. So yeah. So, okay, guys, that is it. That's going to wrap up this little coffee talk. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And hopefully this was helpful to you. And if you are, again, considering building one of your own niche properties and you haven't done so already as far as joining the class, head on over to buildnicheproperties.com. Again, that's buildnicheproperties.com. Everything is there for you to learn how to actually do this. And we'll walk you through step by step. And depending on when you're listening to this or watching this, we are going to be adding an additional section about this expired domain thing. So we're going to be adding that as a unit inside of the training as we learn more about it ourselves. All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, take care, take action, have an awesome day, and I'll see you on Friday. Have a great day, guys. Bye.